Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another episode of New Knife Friday.
Hold up, wait. It ain't Friday. Is it Friday?
And I know it's Saturday, but we had some issues with the Wi-Fi last night, and the power was flickering because they're doing work. They're taking all the overhead power, and they're burying it underground. Thank the Lord! Because every time the wind blows, the power flickers or the power goes out. And we've got to think, do we need to get out the generator and start saving all the food in the fridge?
Well, was the food okay?
Today, we have the marbles parang. Let's see, I paid, I think right at $16 for the blade, and I think I paid like $6 for the sheath. So, yeah, we're kind of still in our $20 budget kind of machete deal here. So I've had some marbles knives before. I had their marbles Boy Scout or Scout machete, the little small one, and I also had their Swamp Master. And their Swamp Master I used for probably about 6 months, and then that machete was inherited by the same smaller stature guy that got my Cold Steel Bolo knife because it was an 18-inch knife. I was still doing land surveying at the time, and I needed a longer knife. Now that I'm doing wetland delineation, I am kind of in the swamps, and I'm not really having a blazer trail, but I'm kind of having to tunnel my way through stuff most of the time. So I need a shorter knife. Now look at that. You're not going to lose that in the woods. I think it would be pretty hard to not spot that from 100 feet away. That's a big old blade, man. It's thin like a machete, but it's got some heft to it. But Solo, where did you get that knife? I got it from Chicago Knife Works. I was talking to, I'm going to call him my buddy because he told me about Chicago Knife Works and I didn't know anything about it. His at Colts Customs, I got it right finally, said, hey man, you need to check out Chicago Knife Works because they have the Latin style cold steel sheaths that you like so much. And I bought 2 of them. They were $5. I think these things are going to last me for like the next 5-6 years. For the Tramontina machete that I use, these things, man, they fit like first time going in. They fit like a glove. And you can spray that thing down with some WD-40 at the end of the day. And when you're carrying this thing on your hip, and you're putting your machete in and out, it's got dirt and it's got grit on it, and that dirt and that grit starts to build up in that sheath and that WD, and it just kind of acts as like a sandpaper in there, and it just keeps your blade so nice, and it keeps it oiled, it keeps it clean. Anyway, thank you so much to at Colts Customs for telling me about Chicago Knife Works. Another guy in the comments is telling me about I think it's Bordock Tools on Etsy, and they import parangs. So I think we're going to be taking a look at that here soon.
Yeah, blah, blah, blah. I clicked on this video for the orange knife.
All right, enough with this knife. We're going to get back to the marbles.
Thank you. Golly, will it look good next to my Gerber Versafix? How big is it? Like, that's what I want to know. How big? Is it going to fit in my bug out bag for whenever I got a bug out?
20 inches overall, and the cutting edge on this is right at 12 inches. The handle itself is 6 inches. Yep, 6 inches. And for your contour of where you can get your big fat mitt into, you've got 4.5 inches. The handle itself leaves a little to be desired with these, but I think there might be a purpose for that. They leave some extra wood on this, and it's kind of chewed up right there. That's not a big deal if you have some sandpaper.
Well, it's a big deal to me. Like I want to be sitting out here sanding, like I even know how to sand something, you know?
Or a rasp, and you want to fit this to your hand better. I make machete handles fit my hand the way I want them to. If they don't fit my hand out of the box. So what they've kind of done here is leave you a bit of a blank slate. Yeah, you're gonna lose that orange tip right there, but I mean, how much is some orange spray paint if you want to paint that thing? Probably what I'll end up doing is sanding this thing to where I want it and slapping some boiled linseed oil on it and calling it good. I might even hit it with a torch, make it all burnt looking. That's neat. So the knife itself is made in El Salvador, and like I said, had good experience with marbles. They retain a good edge. The Swamp Master and the Scout that I had never bent, and minimal having to sharpen that knife. This thing comes ready to do some work right out of the box. It's got a very decent serviceable edge on it, and that's really, you can't ask for any more for a $16 machete, man.
What about that sheath? Is that thing any good? Stupid orange knife.
The nylon sheath, that it doesn't come with the blade, but you can buy this thing separately, and I think I already said that I paid like $6 for it. So it's a nylon sheath. It's got some padding going on in there. It's a rather sturdy built sheath. This Velcro will wear out over time. It's got these two Velcro straps here in the front. Those are going to get cut. And it has this one like little pinch Velcro thing going on right here, but that gives no retention whatsoever. So yeah, the way I kind of look at this is more of just kind of a gravity hold. This thing really isn't going to go anywhere unless you're doing handstands or cartwheels. And it's got these two pockets, so that's kind of neat. I guess you could put like your fire steel and maybe some whatever, Skittles if you want. And it comes with a little stone. And it looks like this stone has a coarse and a fine. So the blue is the coarse, and the orange or salmon color, or whatever you want to call that, is the fine. We'll just go ahead and get rid of that box, and we will drop this stone back in its little slot. It's got a nice thick belt loop there, so you can get a work belt through that. You don't have to be wearing a skinny belt to get that thing on. Yeah, man, it's one of the better $6 sheaths that I've ever seen. The pockets are a nice little touch. So yeah. All right, the marbles parang. We're gonna have to take this thing out for Machete Mondays, and I might just work on that handle after I use this thing. So I want to see how this thing feels out of the box, and yeah, we'll give you a review on that. Thank you guys for stopping by. Thank you for all your subscriptions. Thank you for all your likes and your comments. It's really awesome that I'm making friends here that can tell me about cool places to go get knives and cool ideas that I can have for videos. Man, you guys have been absolutely great. I really appreciate it. I hope y'all have a great weekend.
Ain't no need to write a song.